It's a big day in the Ontario Hockey League tonight with not one, but two Game 7s. We have the Barrie Colts home to the Kingston Frontenacs tonight, and the Windsor Spitfires taking on the Kitchener Rangers. Both series have had different storylines to get to where they are tonight. Of course, in the Eastern Conference, Colts and Frontenacs, it's been a home team wins kind of series, so the Frontenacs need to change that pattern here tonight if they want to advance to the Eastern Conference Final to take on the Oshawa Generals. And of course, either Barrie or Kingston wins tonight, they will have home ice against the Generals, who were the fourth seed in the Eastern Conference. So for the Generals, sitting back and hoping that this game tonight goes into quadruple overtime and want to see their opponent, whoever it may be battered and bruised before opening the Eastern Conference Final later this week. It sounds like for the Barrie Colts, if it starts there, it'll be Thursday night. And for the Kingston Frontenacs, it sounds like potentially Friday night is when the Eastern Conference Final would start. So I'm sure Oshawa General fans will be paying close attention to tonight's game. And for Colts fans, I know the question has been the status of Sam Hillebrand. After the game on Sunday in Kingston, Marty Williamson saying that Hillebrand would be assessed on Monday, and then it would be a game time decision tonight. Depending on who Marty Williamson wants to go with between the pipes. Will it be Sam Hillebrand, the veteran, or Ben Hrebeck, who's been the surprise this season for many around the Ontario Hockey League? And I think for the Barrie Colts, and I mentioned this during the Your TV interview in game number 6, that the Colts, they can go with 1A or 1B. They're confident in both goaltenders, and they do play similar styles in front of either netminder. So at least for the Barrie Colts, it's not like they're missing their starting goaltender and now have to adapt to their backup. They're pretty confident with both, keepers inside the crease, but still, Hillebrand does have that experience from last year and also being a part of the World Juniors with Team USA. I know he never got any starts at the World Juniors, but he's been around those intense situations before, especially a Game 7 like this. And then for the Kingston Frontenacs, Malik McGowan, the only player out of the lineup due to injury. He was injured, of course, in game number 1 with the broken shoulder or broken collarbone. He will not be returning, but for Kingston, what a series it's been for them. I know there's been a lot of people who've been, liking the systems of Troy Mann, and maybe this is a team that could make some noise in the Eastern Conference. They're quite familiar with the Oshawa Generals, although in the regular season, Oshawa had the advantage in the head-to-head, but right now, they have to focus on tonight's game. I cannot wait to call the game. It's going to be a 7 o'clock puck drop at the Sadlon Arena. It'll be on Rogers TV. This is actually going to be my first Game 7 that I get to call, so cannot wait to get this one underway. And then when you shift over to the Western Conference, the Windsor Spitfires, of course, had a 3-0 series lead before the Rangers came back to force a game number 7, looking to complete the reverse sweep. And that's actually what happened to them in 2010 against the Spitfires. In the 2010 Western Conference Final, Kitchener was up 3-0 in that best-of-7 series before Taylor Hall and Ryan Ellis and company decided that they had enough, and they stormed back to win that Western Conference Championship in 7 games. So the Rangers, they could return the favor. I know a lot of the players on the current roster would probably be too young to even remember that happening, but still, Ranger fans are quite familiar with what happened back in 2010 and would love to see the reverse sweep. Although this Spitfires team missing some key players. Injuries have been a factor for this roster. So we'll see who all suits up for tonight. Either way, the WFCU Center, it is going to be a rocking place. It's a solid atmosphere, and then when it's a Game 7, it's even better. The only thing is, for both these teams, they'll have a date with the London Knights in the Western Conference Final, which will not be easy. Of course, the Knights swept the Erie Otters in the second round and have been well rested for this series. And for London, it's a rivalry no matter what. It's a great rivalry between London and Windsor, and also between London and Kitchener. So Knights fans, I'm sure, excited about either matchup as this team looks to, they've got some unfinished business after falling short in the Memorial Cup final last year. And right now, 8 wins away from winning their second straight OHL championships. Cannot wait to get Game 7s underway. And both games get started at 7 o'clock tonight. So this time tomorrow, I'll have to start doing some conference championship playoff preview videos, as it sounds like Game 1 for the night series gets underway on Friday. So pretty quick turnaround for the teams involved in the Game 7. Now, on Saturday night before the Colts game and for game number 5, it was confirmed that the Colts have signed a new 15-year lease agreement with the city of Barrie for the Sadlon Arena. And this has been a topic that I've talked about in the past. It was actually a year ago. It was mentioned that we were still waiting for an agreement between the Colts and the city of Barrie. There was some discussions behind closed doors. The most recent meeting was April 16th. Council finally came to an agreement that they wanted to sign this deal, but no one on council talked about it publicly. It wasn't until a media release was sent out Saturday afternoon before the game that this agreement was reached. So it's a pretty significant milestone for the Barrie Colts organization, who are celebrating their 30th anniversary. So that means they will be in Barrie for their 45th anniversary. Now, it does come with some questions in regards to the future of the Sadlon Arena. Barrie City Council in the past has talked about some expansion plans for the facility, maybe some minor upgrades to some significant additions, maybe added capacity. I know that Howie Campbell, the president and owner of the Barrie Colts, has talked about maybe adding some new amenities for the players, maybe some new media spaces, and also some new seating, as this is an arena that in the past they have put in bids to host the Memorial Cup, but have fallen short every time. And for the Colts, when they built this facility and back in the 1990s, it opened in 1996. It was a state-of-the-art facility. And then after that, arenas started to see what they liked and what they didn't like, and then adapted from there. And now the Colts Sadlon Arena is kind of fallen back a little bit when it comes to state-of-the-art facilities. So for the Barrie Colts in this agreement, they're going to contribute more than $8 million to help underwrite the operating costs of the Sadlon Arena over the length of the lease. They've also budgeted money to help support programs in the city. So they're going to continue to support local schools and charities, which is the great thing about junior hockey, is just the impact it has in a positive light to support different, charities like food banks and whatnot. Like, for example, for Wake's sake, Dallin Wakely helping out Youth Haven, which is really special. And you do see this in all 20 Ontario Hockey League markets where they're involved in the community. They're doing fundraisers, charity work. Also, a program like Bo's Buddies, Bo Gelsma and Bo Akey, they started that with the Barrie Colts, where they bring a young fan to the bench and get to experience what it's like being a member of the Barrie Colts. And they would usually do that. I believe it was on the Saturday night game. So it's a really cool what hockey teams are able to do with these initiatives. And we'll just have to wait and see what comes next for the program. So there has been talk in the past that the Barrie City Council will look to do some additions. The price ranging from $12.3 million worth of work all the way up to $43.5 million in renovation. So nothing has been decided as of yet. The seating capacity right now at the Sadlon Arena is 4,200, and looking to add anywhere from 580 new seats to 1,200 plus. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. And I would think with the Sadlon Arena, it could use some love and some upgrades. Even thinking the press box, I've heard a few of the radio broadcasters who come into town, and it's not one of the best broadcast booths in the OHL. It's fans will oftentimes just walk right up and walk behind us during the broadcast. We could be doing the play-by-play, and a fan comes up the wrong aisle, and instead of going back to the bottom to the concession stand, they'll just walk right through. Something you don't see at any other facility in the Ontario Hockey League. And the other thing too is there's the media space. So the media and scouts room is right now shared with the Barrie Colts workout room and lounge. So there's not a dedicated space right now for media or scouts, which is something that you don't see around the Ontario Hockey League. I know Brantford is also in a similar situation, but their facility, it's on the small side, so they don't have those extra amenities. But the city of Brantford, of course, committed to building a brand new 5,000 seat arena. So the Sadlon Arena could use some love and some upgrades, and we'll have to wait and see what happens now that this 15-year lease agreement has been signed between the Colts and the city of Barrie. So I wanted to do a news video talking about this. I said in the recap on Saturday that I would do a video talking more specifically about the lease agreement. I think this is a positive for the team, for the community, and it gives that reassurance that the Colts are here to stay for another 15 years at least. And then in 15 years, will they be looking to build a new arena? Will they extend the lease? We'll have to wait and see. But in the time being, I think this is great news, especially when the team in a good run here in the playoffs going into game number 7 tonight. We'll have to wait and see what happens here between the Colts and the Frontenacs. So that's how I see it from the booth. Let me know your thoughts on the game 7s tonight, or what are your thoughts on this arena, Lease, for the Barrie Colts. Love to see the interactions. Thank you very much for all your support. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. We'll talk to you again soon.